The Northeast Louisiana Children's Coalition is launching a new effort to help children. Good evening to you. I'm Jennifer Andrews. Jasmine Bingham is here with more on what they're offering. Jasmine?
Yes, Jennifer, boards like this one are now mandated across Louisiana. The Northeast Louisiana Children's Coalition is looking for new members.
We're not only talking about the problem, but we're also showing them a representation of what it looks like.
The Youth Planning Services Board is working to do away with systemic barriers that they believe has increased youth incarceration rates. Executive Director of the Northeast Louisiana Children's Coalition says research shows 60% of youth in the prison system in Louisiana had a behavioral health issue. She says the board's goal is to focus on youth literacy, behavioral health, and how they can lower those rates.
We're really looking at system level changes and how those system levels and systems impact youth and families who are either in foster care or likely to be in the prison system. We see that third grade reading level in Morehouse, it's about 27% of kids are reading on third grade level. And when you look at Ouachita school system and Monroe City schools, about 50% of kids are reading on school level.
A member of the youth committee says they're developing an action plan with community leaders for this initiative.
We know that the real key to seeing a turnaround in education, to seeing a turnaround in juvenile justice issues, is ensuring that we as a community are stepping up to work together to tackle these issues, develop an action plan that allows us to build connections with others, strengthen and develop leadership, and even show the youth the example of what leadership and collaboration looks like.
May say they welcome innovative ideas from the community and want to hear from the youth. Jennifer?